July 21st, 1983. Deep in the heart of Antarctica, at a remote Soviet research station called Vostok, something extraordinary is about to happen. The temperature is plummeting so fast that the air itself seems to crystallize. By morning, the thermometer will read a number so extreme, so incomprehensible, that it will redefine what we thought was possible on our planet. Negative 89.2 degrees Celsius, negative 128.6 degrees Fahrenheit, the coldest temperature ever directly recorded on Earth. But here's what makes this story truly fascinating. This wasn't just a random cold day. This was the culmination of a perfect storm of atmospheric conditions, human ambition, and scientific discovery that revealed just how hostile our planet can become. To understand just how cold negative 89.2 degrees Celsius really is, let me put this in perspective for you. At this temperature, the air you breathe would freeze solid in your lungs in seconds. Your skin would freeze in under 2 minutes. Even antifreeze would turn into a solid block of ice. This temperature is colder than the surface of Mars on its worst day. It's approaching the point where even carbon dioxide, the gas you exhale, begins to freeze solid. We're talking about conditions so extreme that they exist nowhere else in our solar system except on the outer moons of Jupiter and Saturn. The Vostok station, where this record was set, sits on the Antarctic plateau at an elevation of 3,488 meters above sea level. It's one of the most isolated places on Earth, so remote that it takes months to reach, and during the Antarctic winter, it's completely cut off from the outside world. But the Soviet scientists stationed there weren't just enduring these conditions for the sake of it. They were part of one of the most ambitious scientific projects of the Cold War era, drilling deeper into the Antarctic ice than anyone had ever attempted before. Let me take you back to that day in 1983. The Antarctic winter was at its peak. Remember, July is the middle of winter in the southern hemisphere. The sun hadn't been seen for months and wouldn't return for months more. The landscape was a frozen wasteland of ice and snow stretching endlessly in every direction. But what made July 21st different was a perfect alignment of atmospheric conditions. A massive high-pressure system had settled over the Antarctic plateau, creating what meteorologists call a radiative cooling event. With no clouds to trap heat and no wind to mix the air, the surface was losing heat to space at an incredible rate. The Soviet meteorologist on duty that morning was Sergei Golitsyn. As he stepped outside the heated research station to check the instruments, he could feel the cold attacking every exposed inch of skin. The air was so cold, it felt like breathing glass shards. When Golitsyn read the thermometer, he couldn't believe what he was seeing. He checked it again. Then, a third time. The reading was consistent, minus 89.2 degrees Celsius. But here's the thing. This wasn't just a fluke reading. The temperature had been dropping steadily for days. The conditions were so stable, so perfect for extreme cooling, that the record held for hours. This wasn't a momentary spike. This was sustained, life-threatening cold that pushed the boundaries of what Earth's atmosphere could achieve. What makes this even more remarkable is that the scientists at Vostok were completely isolated. They couldn't immediately share this discovery with the world. They had to wait months until the next supply mission could reach them to verify their instruments and confirm what they had witnessed. The psychological impact on the research team was profound. They knew they had witnessed something historic, but they were trapped in this frozen laboratory with no way to tell anyone. Imagine being the first humans to experience the coldest conditions ever recorded, and having to keep that secret locked away in the ice for months. Now you might be wondering, how does this compare to other cold places on Earth? Well, the previous record holder was actually another location in Antarctica. But this Vostok reading shattered that by several degrees. To put this in perspective, the coldest permanently inhabited place on Earth is Oymyakon, Siberia, where temperatures regularly drop to -60 degrees Celsius. The Vostok record was nearly 30 degrees colder than that. But here's where the story gets even more interesting. In recent years, satellites have detected even colder temperatures in Antarctica, as low as -98 degrees Celsius. However, these satellite readings aren't officially recognized because they measure surface temperature, not air temperature, and the measurement methods aren't standardized like ground-based weather stations. The implications of the Vostok record extend far beyond just setting a number in the record books. This discovery helped scientists understand the extreme limits of Earth's climate system. It showed us that our planet is capable of producing conditions that are literally otherworldly. The research at Vostok also contributed to our understanding of climate change. The ice cores they were drilling contained a record of Earth's climate going back hundreds of thousands of years. Ironically, while they were experiencing the coldest conditions ever recorded, they were also uncovering evidence of how Earth's climate has changed over millennia. The extreme cold at Vostok also pushed the boundaries of human endurance and technology. The Soviet scientists had to develop new techniques for surviving in these conditions. Standard equipment would fail. Metal became so brittle it would shatter like glass. Even specially designed cold weather gear was pushed to its absolute limits. Today, nearly 40 years later, the Vostok record still stands. Despite advances in meteorological monitoring and the establishment of more research stations in Antarctica, no ground-based measurement has come close to breaking this record. But the legacy of that day in 1983 continues to influence science today. The Vostok Research Station is still operational, still pushing the boundaries of what we know about extreme environments. The ice core research that began there has revolutionized our understanding of climate history. The extreme conditions at Vostok have also become a testing ground for space exploration technology. NASA and other space agencies use the Antarctic environment to test equipment that will eventually be sent to Mars or other planets because the conditions are so similar to what we might encounter in space. There's also an ongoing debate in the scientific community about whether we'll ever see this record broken. Climate change is warming the planet overall, but it's also making weather patterns more extreme. Some scientists believe we could see even colder temperatures in Antarctica, as changing atmospheric patterns create new opportunities for extreme cooling events. The human story behind this record is equally compelling. Many of the Soviet scientists who witnessed this historic day are still alive today, and their accounts of that experience provide a unique window into one of the most extreme environments humans have ever endured. So what can we learn from the story of the coldest day on Earth? First, it reminds us of the incredible extremes our planet is capable of producing. In an age where we often feel like we've explored and understood everything about Earth, places like Vostok remind us that our planet still holds surprises. Second, it's a testament to human curiosity and determination. The scientists who endured these conditions weren't just surviving, they were actively pushing the boundaries of human knowledge, even in the most hostile environment imaginable. And finally, it's a reminder of how interconnected our planet's systems really are. That record-breaking cold day in Antarctica wasn't just a local weather event. It was the result of global atmospheric patterns, solar radiation, and the unique geography of our planet all coming together in a perfect storm of extreme conditions. The next time you complain about a cold winter day, remember the scientists at Vostok Station on July 21st, 1983. They experienced cold so extreme, it redefined what we thought was possible on Earth, and in doing so, they expanded our understanding of the planet we call home. -89.2 degrees Celsius. The coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth. A number that represents not just extreme weather, but human determination, scientific discovery, and the incredible power of our planet's climate system. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. We're constantly uncovering the most incredible stories from around the world, from natural disasters to scientific breakthroughs that changed everything. Your support helps us bring you these in-depth investigations into the events that shaped our world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.